Welcome to the Average Joe Jiu-Jitsu podcast. Today, I am going to sit down and speak with Kurt Osiander. Kurt Osiander is an accomplished Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and multiple-time Pan-American BJJ champion and has won 4 wins and 1 loss MMA cage fighting record. Kurt has become a cult hero in the BJJ community for his straightforward personality, which has been featured in 2 documentary films and Anthony Bourdain's CNN show Parts Unknown. Kurt is well known for his YouTube channel, Kurt Osiander Move of the Week, which has 81.1 thousand subscribers and has been viewed over 5 million times. Kurt runs Empire Jiu-Jitsu in San Francisco, California with his partner, Jake Scoville. Kurt, thank you for being on the podcast today. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So the first thing I wanted to ask you about was your father. Your father was an Olympic and professional soccer coach, and you were almost a professional soccer player in your 20s.
Yeah, I was playing a lot of soccer back then.
What made you decide not to pursue soccer professionally?
Music.
Okay. And that's right. You
played. I went up to my dad one day and I told him I wasn't gonna play soccer this season. I wanted to be a lead singer for a band.
What was the band's name?
That was a long time ago. Skeletal Bliss.
Yeah, and you're really into heavy metal, aren't you? Yeah. Who's your favorite band now?
Man, there's some good ones out still, but I usually listen to the top guys, like Slayer and God and Golgoroth and a lot of heavy black metal.
Nice. What do you think of Metallica?
They're great.
Like
Their early days, we used to go see them Bucks.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, I like them that they're local too. They're here in the Bay Area, and they started out in Oakland. Yeah, and they actually it
was a huge metal scene here.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you grew up in Walnut Creek, and you said that I read that you spent much of your childhood grounded in your room, and that your father was an old school, strict disciplinarian, and you were a wild kid. What kind of things did you get into that got you in trouble?
Just like normal stuff that kids do, like shoot each other with BB guns and light each other on fire. Break shit that you're not supposed to break.
Right.
It's normal kid behavior, but I mean, kids did that because like we didn't have video games, so they, it's like we'd come home and our parents would be like, "Do your homework and get out of here."
Right. Go out and play. Get out of the house.
Yeah. And your distance away from the house was basically is like how far you can hear your mom scream for you.
Right. Yeah, I remember that when I was growing up. It was like you were out all day until it was dinner time or it got dark, and then you went in.
Yeah.
So I read that Health Gracie made you cut your hair when you first joined his academy, but you've had long hair for quite some time.
I had long hair, and I was auditioning for a band, and he didn't buy it, and he's like, had 2 of my peers grab me and put me in double arm lock. He's like, "I'm cutting your fucking hair right now," and I was like, "Oh, look, I got a callback. I got one more callback. If I get the gig, I don't cut my hair. If I don't get it, I'll come back with my hair cut." And I came back with my hair cut.
There you go. So my follow-up question is, you grew your hair back. I mean, you had your hair long for a long time, for as long as I've ever known of you. When you grew it back, was there an argument with Half over that, or did he just accept it?
He started getting kind of suspicious, and I gave him the old "I'm growing it for cancer kids."
Nice.
And then by the time it was really long, I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not cutting it."
That's awesome. Hey, I guess by that point he's just like, forget it, whatever. I'll let him do what he wants.
Yeah, the earlier days was more for the time for abuse.
Yeah. So you're a big fan of reading history.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of history to study?
I like the Greeks, like pre-Peloponnesian War and Peloponnesian War, and then like up until like Rome becomes and stuff like that. And then like, I pretty much study like every like major civilization and their way of life and stuff like that, and the way they viewed warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And then I throw in the religious timeline to give it another skew. So like I'm like, there's like certain times when like there was like lots of battles, you know, and it was like, it was not a coincidence. Everybody was battling.
Right. What were the last two books you read?
Right now I've got two new ones that are supposed to be good. They're by, let me see. They're by Larson, and I guess they're supposedly really cool books and everything. And then I got another like a Russian book, like it's based on a Russian soldier and everything when it was in Stalingrad and everything. It's pretty fucking heavy duty.
That's awesome. So at 49, I'm 49. So, but at 49, my personal jiu-jitsu goal is to earn my black belt. And I've been training for 7 years, and to be the best instructor I can be. I know I'm not going to be like the next world champion of anything. So, you know, I've decided I like to coach. I like to teach. That's going to be my goal. Maybe I can help other kids, you know, get to their level, get to their goal.
You make good product.
Yeah. There you go. And so when you were trying to learn to be more effective, more effective instructor and leader, you read books on leadership authored by Roman leaders such as Caesar, Marcus Aurelius, Trajan, and Titus. If you were asked to make a short list, what are the top 3 books you would recommend on leadership?
Let's see. Got one of them right there. The 13 Strategies of War.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the 5 Rings.
Nice. Yeah, I actually own that one. Yeah.
So it's so cryptic, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a sword fighting manual and everything, and but it's coded and everything. But it's really interesting just to kind of figure some of it out. Mm-hmm. And then the Art of War.
Yeah, by Sun Tzu. Oh, yeah.
Those are just really good books, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the 5 Rings. I started reading that, and I was listening to I think it was Jocko Willink was talking about how it also just applies to life. Like the way doesn't have to be martial arts. It can be anything you're doing. You know,
yeah. The way, yeah, exactly. Anybody can become a master if you do it. Like if you take pride in what you do and you do it over and over perfectly.
Right. Awesome. So in your opinion, what qualities make a good instructor?
Definitely like your transmission of technique and like being able to gear it for multiple types of intellects and retardedness.
Yeah, for the stupid people, right?
And so it's easy to teach really smart guys and very athletic guys, but you know, not everybody is like that. So you have to be a good teacher for like all types of students. If you're just a good teacher with like just the good guys, and then all your bad, there's only a few good guys and they just fucking feed on all the other, lower, right? So that's really important to be able to teach different types of students, to be able to recognize which students can be pushed harder and will be whatever they'll be, and like, especially because of my situation, I'm just like so hurt, it's not even funny. And so now definitely like when guys are hurt, I'm like, okay, why don't you like sit out and ice it and take a couple of days off, and then we'll tape it back up and see how it feels, but otherwise I think I'm gonna definitely, like, they're already much smarter than we were, like the old school guys, man.
Right.
Fuck, you'd have fucking severed limb and you'd go back.
Right. Nothing can stop you. Just, you're like, whatever, just tape it up.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking gnarly. I mean, you were in there and you were in there. So so now, like, the guys, they train differently than we did. They don't just like train for like we were training for like to be good, definitely, to be technical and get good. But it was a lot of mental toughness that we developed.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that by just being an older guy training in a gym with a bunch of younger guys. That's the biggest thing I get out of it. Is just the mental toughness not to give up and get through it. What's been your worst injury?
Right now, like I wore out my hips.
Uh-huh.
I can barely walk. I like totter around. I haven't trained in like a year, so
Okay.
I got to get double hip replacement. But I had a stint in the hospital like a month back, and I'm like diabetic now, and I had to change my diet and like do all kinds of stuff. It made me so weak. Like I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and I was just like, man, I'm fading away,
Right.
So I've been out for like a month now. I still got a drain in.
Right.
So they did a little operation on my kidney. Like there was a growth. So they went in there and like, I guess they just like cut the shit out of it. And then they put a drain hole in there. So it pulls it out.
Shit.
So, yeah. And so that thing's been in for fucking this whole time. They had a catheter in me for fucking like a month and a half.
Yeah. Well, you look better now. You look better now than you did like last month when you were posting on Instagram and you were in the hospital. Your face. Yeah, you look a lot better now. You look a lot healthier. So cool. Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. I mean, I hope everything works out and you make a fast recovery. We all want to see you come back.
I don't see it being fast because I got like nurses that come over here 3 days a week, and then I was like doing something in front of her, and she's like, "You're not supposed to do that." I'm like, "Somebody, no, yeah, not you. You sit down and just rest."
Right.
And I'm trying to make a comeback, and she's like, "Yeah, don't force the comeback. It'll be worse."
When is your hip surgery going to happen?
I don't know, like because of this sickness and everything.
Yeah.
I'm on like 5 different medications, and now I take. I'm diabetic, so I have to do insulin shots. So I don't know. I might have to recover a little bit more before they start thinking about doing the hip surgery.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it has to be done because they're fucking
just bone on bone, right?
Yeah. Bone on bone, man. And I get up and I walk and it hurts, and then I'll sit down for a while, and then like it's just like every time you go to get up, it's like
yeah. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. And it's both now. So it's both. It's gonna be a double hip.
Oh, it's both of them.
Yeah.
And I had to go through channels where I went to my doctor, and I got insurance, and they're like, okay, so first off, okay, they kind of touch you a little bit. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with you. Take some vitamin B, and I'm all. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. Take vitamin B. I already do. And then, okay, so I'm going to refer you over to this. And so then they referred me to physical therapy. So I go see the physical therapy guy. The physical therapy guy is a blue belt.
No, nice.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
He goes, so what's wrong with you? I'm all fucked up. Let's see, what we can do. And he goes, well, after we get you warmed up, you don't move so bad. How much pain are you in? I'm like, excruciating, but like when you train, you don't feel anything. So
right.
And so then he goes, I need you to go get an MRI and an X-ray. And so then he goes, I'll meet you back here next week. And so I came back in. He's like, dude, your fucking hips are gone. So that was when I finally, it took a few like channels, but that's when I finally found out.
Right. Well, you have a good attitude about it. I'll say that. I mean, it is, you just have to deal with it, I guess, and go forward. Yeah. I'm sure you'll be fine. It's just going to take some time.
That's what I'm running out of, man.
We all are, right? We all are. But well, we're all here, so, we just one day at a time and one foot in front of the other. And
that's right. That's all you can do.
All you can do. I mean, that was actually a question I was going to ask you later. I mean, maybe part of, the way jiu-jitsu, you once said, I want these guys to succeed, not just on the mat, but in life. So in your opinion, does jiu-jitsu help people navigate life positively? And what ways does it help you navigate life positively? And as far as your mindset?
It definitely gives you like structure. So like I mean, even for adults, it's like they come in, say hi to everybody, you drop your stuff off, you go get changed, you come back, warm up starts, warm up ends, do positions, do specifics, train, socialize, get dressed, go home. You know,
Right.
it's a program. It's a program, right? So, and you can mix it any way you want, you know.
Mm.
And a lot of people are just like, yeah, I'll just, you know, take the social aspect or whatever. And some are like on the mat the whole time. So
Right.
that's you.
Mm.
But yeah, I definitely see like, you know, guys like totally like put the same aspect of like doing positions. I'm also, look, this is how you learn. So, and I'm all, usually it's, you know, I have to hit you at the same time, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
different people learn differently. And then once they get it and they figure out how to like put it to their version,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start to structure their training the right way. They structure their drilling the right way. They structure their learning and ask more questions or get in and try to understand the position more, you know.
Right.
So, and then they transfer that to life and everything like that. And definitely like me, I'm always chaos out of disorder, and so like when it's time to like button it down and like knuckle down, I can immediately like switch and go, okay, then we're gonna be living like this, and you got to do this at 7:30 in the morning. You got to do this, right? You have to have snacks on board all the time now, and you know, stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's basically what I was asking. That is a great answer. And do you think, I want to go back to the instructor question? I have a backup question for that. Do you think that you progressed the best in your jiu-jitsu after you started teaching because of the repetition of having to show people technique all week long and then use it on them and rolling to prove it to them?
Absolutely. And then that started when I was like white belt, and then for sure when I was blue belt.
Mm-hmm.
So then by then I was already getting like groomed to be an assistant, you know. Definitely you teaching the move and you knowing the move more intimately. And you know, that makes you better at the move. You also figure out how to teach it better. You figure like why yours is not so good and how to fix it and stuff like that. So it's really a great advantage to be an assistant instructor, or you know, whatever they call it, school.
Awesome. Okay. You know, in addition to your successful competitive jiu-jitsu career, which includes 7 gold medals at the Pan Ams, you had a successful MMA run with Gladiator Challenge and Strike Force in 2007 and 2008. You had 4 wins, 2 by knockout, 2 submissions, and only 1 loss by knockout. How old were you when you did MMA? What made you stop?
Well, I was 46.
So that answers the second part of the question, right?
Exactly. I was like, look, I just wanted to get a taste of it, and then it did so good that I kept going, and I felt good, so I kept going. But in retrospect, that was a lot of extra mileage.
Yeah, that's savage though. I saw some like footage and some pictures of it from that time, and I was like, man, that's savage. Be 46 years old and going into a cage in Strike Force, and actually succeeding. I mean, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. That was really impressive.
That was cool. That was a good night. All my guys were on the card, and then I fought.
Nice. It's awesome. So what's your opinion of Gracie self-defense? Do you teach it at Empire Jiu-Jitsu? Do you
I came up doing a lot of self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
And self-defense is great. And like if you were like to just do classes of self-defense, people would be they'd be stoked.
Yeah.
It's like something that's gonna happen more in real life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like the person's gonna do this, they're gonna grab this, you know, it's gonna be more like a serious situation. And I the guys ask me, they're like, what about if this happens? And I'm all, okay, then you do this, you know.
Right.
But definitely, like, you know, it's definitely a really important aspect of jiu-jitsu. You're not just gonna, you know, be able to perceive the attack of somebody grabbing you from behind, or you know, or suddenly pushing you or whatever, you know. Right. And then a lot of things that we do in class is like also programming the person to move correctly. Like most humans don't move correctly, like,
Right.
or they don't move jujitsu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is not correctly either.
If you think about it, yeah.
When you think about it, that flexibility and or dynamic, movements and like, and being able to chamber your body and mechanically, correct times is like, that's key,
Mm-hmm.
that's why the move comes off.
Well, it's hard to find schools that teach the self-defense, the Gracie self-defense these days. A lot of schools are just like tournament oriented and they just teach like sport jujitsu. And do you
I'll
think
do
it's
like,
effective?
sometimes when I get in trouble or I need to do a good deed, I'll do like women's self-defense clinics.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really have a good time, and it's a lot of information, and then some of the girls, they're like just fucking straight killers after it.
Right. Right.
You show them how to take the back and fucking strangle their boyfriend. They're on the way home fucking really fast,
Nice. Like I have a background in traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu before I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And so a lot of the techniques are similar to what was in the Gracie self-defense. Do you think that if somebody had that background and they had a proper training partner that had good akemi and was pretty skilled at jiu-jitsu himself, you could figure out those techniques on your own to a good degree?
Well, you see that happen all the time now because of like so much information on the internet. Like there was no internet when we came up.
Right.
So that'll tell you how long ago that was. And there's guys, they watch this video, watch that video. They never been to a gym, they get their friend and they go in their fucking double wide trailer fucking out there. Like, shit you not. I know some guys that were fucking training with each other and then they became very good.
Right.
And I think the brown belt to this day, he's in North Carolina. And those guys that we got a double wide trailer with fucking wrestling mats and we fucking throw each other around them all. Fuck yeah. So yeah, I think that definitely you can teach yourself, especially if you're kind of smart and the camera angles are good,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to look into that then. I'm going to start looking into that for sure. So sorry about that. Hold on. Let me turn this off. So your jiu-jitsu has always been described as a fundamental top-heavy pressure passing game, which is, I can respect because I'm trying to develop that myself. And is this the game you learned from Ralph Gracie, or was it something you developed on your own? And what's your opinion of the new BJJ styles, which incorporate tactics such as berimbolo and lapel entanglements, for example? Would you recommend top-heavy pressure passing for an older athlete?
I recommend heavy top-end fucking pressure passing on everybody.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
How got me to do that at first? At first, when I was, I think I was blue belt too. I stood up in posture and I'd open guard standing, but I would only pass toreando. There was a reason for it. So you get good at toreando, like all the different variations of toreando, which also give you footstep patterns, so you're moving your hands, you're changing your level and you're moving your feet. So it's more to like stimulate the brain to start accessing like all your limbs at the same time, right? That's the thing about jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And Half got me into pressure passing. He's all look, Kurt, you're not good looking, so you're not going to mind people pushing your face or doing this to your face with their elbow or none of this. And so once I found that how to get like over unders or double unders or like double overs with their feet trapped between there, that I was pretty stable because I could like keep it tight, like bringing my elbows to my ribs and keeping everything tight that way, but opening my knees that my butt would hit the floor. And so it's when you're sucked down to the floor, then you're sucked down to the floor. Now, if somebody's still sweeping you after that, they're fucking doing a good job or they're fucking on the bomba. But yeah, it's my preference to do that. That pressure pass, you get into the position, the guy has no recourse, especially if you follow all the rules. You gotta look opposite of where you're passing. You have to bucket your neck straight, and you're always like driving through your top of your eyebrows here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed from watching you roll that your chin will always be in contact with your opponent, like on their torso.
Yeah, I'm glued to the guy.
Yeah,
and there's no way if there's any amount of space that the guy creates, he'll weasel around, you know. But if you're like laying on him like a, and you can't be like dead weight, you got to be. You're definitely like still like flexing and stuff like that, and sagging and pulling back. But yeah, I say, like for guys with really good guards, if you get them in a smash pass, they don't have a guard anymore.
Right. Perfect. So I purchased your instructional on BJ Fanatics, and it's titled Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade, which is actually, that's a cool title, by the way.
That's a really cool title.
That's a really cool title. Yeah. And are you planning to make any other instructionals in the future? If you get
BJJ Fanatics, they got a hold of me and they want me to get back in there, but I told them that I have to get better first.
Yeah, you got to recover first, obviously. Yeah, absolutely. And you're known for to hold fundamentals over everything else, which in my opinion makes perfect sense and is logical, and it's the same way I think. But are your techniques in your instructional the fundamentals that you recommend people do their 10,000 hours of? Are those?
Yeah, I mean, if you do those moves and you drill them like you're supposed to, and you get to your position, it's going to be fatal for the other guy. You know what I'm saying? Like the rest of, like, after you get like your moves, whatever side, whatever up, down, the guy's laying down, whatever position. After you get your good moves, you're trying to finagle them or like aggressively put them into that position so that your percentile is like it's going to roll and it's going to be a fucking, you know, it's going to be right. So, yeah, I think that if you stick like there's guys that are like, they're really fucking good. They're really, 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 really fucking good. And like two guys could be equally good, but maybe this guy's got like more crazy techniques and whatever. But I got a guy here who's super solid fucking basics, you know. So everything's going to be correct. Everything's going to be basic. So, you know, I perceive that the guy with the basic is gonna, you know, is gonna do fine because he's gonna keep the game, you know, straightforward and very cut and dry. And the other guy is like trying to do like get to his fancy position. But if you don't let them get there, he doesn't do it. Right.
Exactly. I mean, I think that the way I've been taught, and I agree with, is that it's better to have fewer techniques and have a very strong foundation and fundamentals and just do them well than to have, you know, or have a cursory knowledge of a bunch of other stuff that you just threw in. And that almost like my plan basically is just to focus on fundamentals until my black belt. Then maybe after my black belt, then I'll play around a little bit to keep myself interested. And
that's what happens. It's like that. That's what happened to me. I got my black belt. I'm like, fuck, now I can fucking learn.
Right. Yeah. Now you can explore and experiment and things. Yeah. So when I started training jiu-jitsu, I watched Move of the Week all the time, and I found it really, and I still do, extremely helpful. Is Move of the Week going to make a comeback in the future?
Absolutely.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Just the COVID, man. The COVID destroyed everything.
Yeah, I was actually going to get into that with you. Like is Empire open right now?
The COVID laid waste to everything.
It did. I took a whole year off, a little over a year, you know, and I just started going back, and it was brutal. I hated it. I hated being away from jiu-jitsu for a whole year. Is Empire open right now? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
With the correct
with the protocol in place.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, we'll see what happens on the 15th, right?
What's that?
Or the state might open up. So maybe they're going to like say, that's it. We're done. No more protocols. You know, we're open. So let's see what happens. I mean, that's what we're all crossing our fingers for, you know, hoping for.
Yeah.
So in all your years in jiu-jitsu and MMA, you must have been exposed to a lot of different forms of strength and conditioning for both sports. What do you think is the most effective method of strength and conditioning for jiu-jitsu? And what would you recommend an older athlete focus on to stay on the mats as long as possible?
Like if you're, I mean, your own body weight is good, and like push-ups and sit-ups and squats and all those movement drills that promote core strength are all very, very important. And then once all those ligaments and everything are stretched out and ready, you know, from jiu-jitsu movement, then you can start to put on some mass. But it's like hard to be like all buffed and then come in, or get really buffed, and then it'll limit your movement, right? So there's an amount of muscle you're supposed to carry.
Right.
And so, like, I always thought, you know, they're like, well, what are you going to cut down to? 170s? I couldn't make 170 unless you cut my leg off.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I fought 185s, and then I would only have to like do a 15-minute roll, you know, in a sauna suit, and I'd be down 185 from like 196.
Right.
The other guys cutting a lot of weight and everything. So I think that after you do like all that body weight and flexibility and strength like that, Olympic lifting.
Okay. So you did some of that in the past?
That's fucking just makes you fucking strong.
Okay.
You know? And then you got to find a good physical, functional guy like I had Fabiano Brazil. And so there would be different phases, like, okay, he walked in, he's okay, you guys start doing this. And so we would just have like PVC pipe and learned how to do squats, learned how to do deadlifts, learned everything really perfect and everything in the form, which was really very smart. And then we got the bar, and then we started doing weight, you know, and so we were on a building phase for like, you know, a few months. And then he goes, okay, so now we're going to start to do this. And so like a good trainer knows when it's time to build phase, and then like cardio and weights, and then, you know, explosive, and then finally down to the end where, you know, like the whole time is like a lot of cardio, a lot of everything. And it's fucking mayhem, you know. But if you got the right person like directing you, it's so much easier than like trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Right. Did you ever play with kettlebells or anything like that? Anything besides barbells?
Yeah, I did all the same exercises, but we used dumbbells.
Oh, dumbbells. Okay.
Yeah, because like there were you know, kettlebells there, but they were on the other side of the room, and we're just like, fuck that, just grab the fucking barbell.
The dumbbells. Yeah. I have. Did you ever experiment with Turkish get-ups as far as the theory with jiu-jitsu?
Oh, yeah. I know the theory very well. Yes, it tortured me for a long time.
Did you find it helpful? Yes.
Oh, that one makes you fucking core strength and everything.
Okay. All right. Great.
My arms are straightened so it doesn't look as cool. You know? Like everybody's like all long armed and everything. I'm like,
Right. So you mentioned you're diabetic now, and I did notice on your Instagram you're eating what looks like a paleo diet now. Is that accurate as far as how you're eating?
Like bike training, like chicken, fish, a lot of vegetables, a lot of vegetables, salads, cottage cheese, yogurt, not cream of wheat, the other one, oatmeal. Oh man, so good.
Yeah.
So you start to try to find things that are like sweet, like candy, but they're not.
But they're not, yeah. Like fruit and berries and stuff.
Yeah, like fruit, berries, and oatmeal with honey in it.
Yeah. What do you? I like a stevia. It's supposed to be okay to use. It's like 0 calorie. Yeah. I find the Splendid's too sweet. It's just too.
Yeah, I get all the sugar free like stuff like Crystal Light.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot of Crystal Light too. I was trying to drink more water. How many? What's your opinion on drinking like a gallon of water a day? Do you think that's
if you're active like that? I used to do like 2 gallons, and I would need those. Like if we were like on a march and I didn't have that much water, you'd be fucked. You wouldn't be marching shit.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You wouldn't be marching shit. You'd be laying on the floor going, fuck, I'm thirsty.
Exactly. I mean, I remember watching Stuart Cooper's film, his documentary he did on you, and even the roll-ups that you did with Budo Jake. and the description of your day, of how many times you trained, how many times you taught, plus your conditioning in the morning, everything. You must have been going through at least 2 gallons of water a day back then.
Oh yeah, it was easy. I mean, it's easy because prior to training, I don't like to be fed.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to be like empty, like 2 hours with a poop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Yeah,
with a nice poop.
Uh-huh.
And then I like to roll around, and then afterwards I'll fucking drink a lot of water and put fuel back in, and then
right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's actually, I was watching, I don't know if you ever saw it. It was a Munchies episode with Crum Gracie, and it's a pretty good little episode they have on YouTube. It's a show called Munchies, and they did one on Crone, and he did the same thing where he's just training all day and barely eating, and then he got done training and he starts gulping down all these liquids, and then he's going to get sushi, and then he's getting a burrito in the middle of the night, and it's crazy. Yeah, same kind of thing.
It's good to be young, but
yeah, I know. Yeah, it would be. Yeah. So I like to draw. I'm a bit of a little amateur artist, and I think that's really cool that you draw. And I was wondering if you're still working on your 10,000 hours of tattoo drawing.
I am. I'm back at home here, and I got all my stuff all dug out, and the guys keep like going, "Hey, start drawing."
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So,
do you have any plans of still maybe being an artist one day, or a tattoo artist?
Yeah. I want to do all that stuff. So I just got to get back into it, and like I haven't like drawn this week or anything like that. And then I got all my hobbies that I really liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like after like what happened here at my house and everything like that. And then they fucking broke in while I was in fucking the hospital and stole all my shit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What'd they take?
It took a lot of fucking valuable stuff.
Don't tell me they took a bunch of your weapons and stuff, your swords. It really? Damn, that sucks. I was actually going to ask you about your collection today.
Went right after that.
Wow.
So those are gone.
That sucks. Sorry, man.
Yeah. So needless to say, like after that, I came back from the hospital and I just didn't feel like doing anything.
Right.
Now everything's like everything's starting to move along here. I'm starting to be able to move around better. There's a lot of projects left to do here. So
yeah. So do you do requests or commissions as far as if people would ask you to draw them a tattoo?
Sure.
I'm actually getting a sleeve, and I want to do a martial arts sleeve because I've basically been doing martial arts majority of my whole life, different ones. And I thought it'd be really cool to have a jiu-jitsu tattoo drawn by Kurt Osiander.
Can it be old school?
Yeah, anything you want, something you think is cool. If you're willing to do that.
I like old school.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like traditional, like Sailor Jerry and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. Maybe we can talk about that offline, and we can work something out.
Cool.
All right, cool. What are your tattoos of? What do you have? What are the basic things?
I got a Japanese sleeve with the god of the samurais here, which nice. I saw when I went to Osaka. We went outside of the arena where the summer sumo wrestling was going on. It was so fucking cool to go and watch it live. Holy crap.
Nice.
And then the other side is Japanese too, but it's got like, this one's my predator. So it's kind of like coming out of the ship and everything. And then
that's cool.
I don't know if you follow any like Jap animation. There's this one like cartoons called Berserk.
I've never heard of it. No.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It's
Berserk?
like
I will.
The violent, sexy cartoon.
Nice. I'm gonna write that down. Berserk.
Needless to say, the character's name is Gatsu, and like since he's like a kid, he's like always had a sword, and so as he gets bigger as a man, his sword becomes like a 6 foot long, fucking foot wide, and like he's got super rage powers and shit like that. It's badass, and
that's crazy.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
You'll really like the art. Like
when
it caught my eye because of the art, but then I started reading all the comics, and I lost myself.
Nice. Do you still read a lot of comics?
Yeah, I collect all the Predator ones and stuff like that.
Nice. Who's your favorite superhero, if you had one, if you had to say?
I like Batman because Batman's more he's a gadget guy. Yeah, he's not like super. he's got super armor.
Mhm. That's my favorite too. Yeah, he's my favorite by far. Yeah, I just like that he's just a normal guy. You know, he's a human. He's no special powers. He's just, you know, extremely disciplined and
He's he's probably in the gym a lot every day and doing all kinds of shit.
Probably. Yeah. He can afford it, right? There you go.
That's right.
So we touched on the pandemic earlier. How did the pandemic affect the academy, and how did you guys keep it running and stuff? It just shut down, huh? Yeah.
Shut down.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to shut down. I'm like, what? Yeah. I guess I'll let you know when we can open up again. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, it was a trip, man. It's like, okay, I guess I'll do all the things I never did to the house before.
Right. Did the students keep paying it every month to keep the academy going, or did you have to float stuff?
That didn't last very long. It soon was. And then the landlord did give us a deal, and then I believe Jake got the assistant package or whatever it was. And so far now it's just like we went from like 200 students to I think we have 30.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it's like where I trained, we had a pretty big group of like pretty experienced people, and then the pandemic hit, and then a lot of them are gone, and now we've got a lot of new people in the class. You know,
especially because a lot of the people had children. You know, like they got a new baby, they were out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or if there was a baby thought of, they were out of there.
Right. Or an older mother or a grandmother or somebody. Yeah. So, can people, if they're interested, can they still reach out to Jake for group classes, privates, or seminars at the academy?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so you guys are located at 2356 Mission Street in San Francisco.
Correct.
And and the email for the academy is info@empirejujitsu.com. Phone number is 415-658-7520. And the website is www.empirebjj.com. And people can find you on Instagram at Kurt Osiander, one word. And your instruction will be purchased at BJJ Fanatics, which is www.bjjfanatics.com. And I really wanted to thank you for coming on today. I had a great time talking to you. I look forward to running into you again at a tournament in the future, like I have in the past.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. We've had a couple of like real casual, like brief encounters.
Sure.
And maybe one day we could take a picture together with the one finger salute.
Absolutely.
We can do that. And I'd like to talk to you again about that tattoo. But thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it. I had a great time today. And it was a huge thrill for me to be able to talk to you.
Right on, Craig.